On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Rated Aaron. We are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. Jumping around in here. We're going to jump right into it today. Before we do that, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. I'd like to make sure that first and foremost, you guys like the video on your way in. Do not forget to subscribe, especially if you've been here more than twice. And last but not least, for those of you who are already in the wolf pack, or for those of you who are actually feeling the video and like getting something out of the content, go ahead and share it. Get me out into the algorithm. Also, feel free to react, do reactions. You can clip this up, do whatever you wish. Just make sure to tag me in it so I can see it and weigh in my 2 cents, because I like it when people at least have the gall, if they're going to talk about me, to go ahead and tag me in the video so we can have a proper debate. First and foremost, we're going to jump into, this is a pretty straightforward topic as the market is volatile. We're starting off this week. Bitcoin is down. People are asking me every time Bitcoin goes down, I get the, "Are you okay?" text. Are you still buying? What are your thoughts on Bitcoin? And it's like, I'm always buying Bitcoin. If it's down, if it's sub 90,000, then especially if it's on a payday week, which this week is a payday week, I'll be getting paid tomorrow. If we're still sub $90,000, I will be buying some Bitcoin. I'll be buying some extra, and I'll be getting the amplified Bitcoin exposure in the portfolio side of things. It's going to be great. That said, we're going to jump right into the topic, which is we're going to be talking about one of my deals, one of my positions that I am scooping up actively. We'll just say that. It is, bring it to the screen, Strive, which that is the ticker symbol ASST. And the reason we picked that up, why? Because they are a Bitcoin treasury company. We're going to jump into specifically what they do, because they do some other stuff that is not just Bitcoin, which I find pretty interesting. First and foremost, they are a product and service provider. Now, are they actively adopting the Bitcoin treasury model? Yes, but are they just a Bitcoin treasury in the sense that MicroStrategy MSTR is? No, they are not. They are a provider of ETFs. They do 401k and direct indexing as well, which I find is pretty interesting because they actually have income coming in via their other products that they offer, as opposed to Strategy, which kind of backdoored their way in, started buying Bitcoin, and then figured out something that they could offer. They also have a credit product, which is SATA, SATA. We had that in the portfolio. We did drop that out of the portfolio, and the reason being is my cash reserve positions I need margin off of, because otherwise there's no reason for it to be in my portfolio in a cash reserve position. So we did swap that out with a separate edition, which we'll talk about next month. Obviously, you'll get your monthly update where we break down the portfolio, and you'll see that. But Strive ASST is part of my foundation. Now, the reason I have this video titled the way that it is the poor man's MSTR ASST. And this is, for those of you who felt like you were too late, MicroStrategy is still too expensive, which honestly, if you're not grabbing up a couple of shares here and there of MicroStrategy at these rates, I think that it's crazy. Me personally, I am diehard set on getting my 10 shares back at minimum, and we are focused on that with our primary buy. I buy ASST and 21 Capital with my extra. So when Bitcoin is below 90,000, I throw an additional 10% over into my long-term holdings portfolio. The first round of buying obviously goes into our primary positions. We've gotten our 1 share of Tesla that was on sale. We're currently working on getting our 10 shares of MSTR, which are currently, as far as I'm concerned, on sale. And then we buy a little bit extra for Strive, which we are trying to get 1,000 shares. Now, why do I say this is the poor man's MSTR? Why specifically is because of the price of the ASST stock, which I will go ahead and share this screen real quick. We'll pull this up, is 87 cents right now, which is in buy range for me because I think my average buy price right now is about 88 cents. So this is definitely in striking range. If we stay below 90,000, I will be scooping up another handful of these, but there's no excuse. This is change. This is less than a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee will get you quite a few shares of Strive. Me personally, I'm looking to see myself sitting with at least 1,000 shares this year. And for those of you who are wondering, this is a 5-year play at minimum. This is part of my reserve, which is a culmination of Bitcoin treasury companies and a few couple of errant things in there that provide minimal diversification. But we've got a little bit of Tesla that we have in there right now. We also have a few other companies that we're going to be throwing in to kind of hedge our bets, most of which is going to be crypto related because it's me. I'm orange pilled AF, in my opinion. Not as orange pilled as some, but more orange pilled than most. And this is like a no excuse buy for me. It's an easy one. They have no debt. So MSTR has debt. Strive has no debt. So we're going to go back to the Strive page. That's one of the other kickers for this is they have no debt. They already have a product suite of things that they have available. And we will go ahead and go through that now. So let's talk about some of the investments that they have. They have Bucks, enhanced income, short-term maturity. They've got your maturity bonds. They got all your TradFi stuff. They have their own S&P 500. They have mid cap, small cap, all the stuff that you would find from the big boys like Vanguard. But these aren't the big boys, and they are orange pilled. So at the end of the day, this is a Bitcoin treasury company. So for me, I would rather give my money to a Strive and buy these funds if I was into TradFi and also a Bitcoin supporter, which I am not. I'm into TradFi as much as I need to. We have our bags to leverage against, and that's about it. The only thing that we really care about over here is buying more Bitcoin and setting up to be able to consistently buy more Bitcoin. But if I needed any of these products, I would rather get them from the guys that are 100% on board with Bitcoin than going to Vanguard, which is still, if I'm not mistaken, blocking their customers from buying Bitcoin or Bitcoin related anything, while they themselves are also investing in Bitcoin related stuff so that they can get the upside. They just want you to be poor. So we're not, while I don't use any of these products, with the exception of SATA, which is not an ETF, so it's not going to be on here. If I did, I would utilize this company's over the other ones. Because I mean, basically, you're looking at the fee structure more or less and where you're going to get it. And you know, the Vanguards, BlackRocks, all the big boys, they're incumbents. So, you know, me personally, I prefer moving my money around with companies that are on board with what I believe financially and ethically. So speaking of financially and ethically, let's go look at Strive's Bitcoin tracker. Now, there's a couple of things that I always like to look at because most of these companies are very transparent with their holdings and what they are looking at as far as their Bitcoin holdings and how that's affecting their deals. So the couple of things that we want to look at, you want to see how many Bitcoin they have. They currently have 12,797.9 Bitcoin. Awesome. Acquiring an average of 48.66 a day. That number doesn't matter to me. This is an important number, though. The market cap versus Bitcoin NAV, which is 0.97x. Now, 0.97x is less than 1x, which is like spot on. Like it's like you're almost at parity. So this is in discount range for me. This is why I like to what I look for when I'm looking to get those extra buys in. So Bitcoin is dipping and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's perfect. 1.97x. Strategy is also in the 1x range, which means that you're not paying a premium. Like under 1 is a discount in my opinion. And considering I'm planning on holding this for 5 years, and I don't think that the Bitcoin price is going to be at like 87,000, which is another great thing that they give you here. We can see live what the Bitcoin price is trading at. So we're at 87,000 right now. I don't believe in 5 years we'll be looking at $87,000 Bitcoins. So for me, scooping up as much of this as possible and then looking away, because as of right now, this is not marginable. So I'm just building up a war chest for later. This is buy range for me. This was around the range when I started buying. I think I bought some at maybe 86 when pretty sure again my average is about 88 or so. So this is a discount. And market, depending on what the market's doing tomorrow, because you guys will be watching this on Thursday. Depending on what the market is doing tomorrow, we'll kind of decide what I'm going to be doing as far as if these prices are similar or the same. If we're below 90, then I get an extra 10%, and that 10% predominantly will go into ASST and a little bit into 21 Capital, which is XXI. Now, the reason being, bringing it back over, actually, we'll just leave this page up for right now. The reason being, and the reason I call this the poor man's MicroStrategy, is because of the amount of upside potential that we have. Like there is so much upside potential. This is under $1. MicroStrategy is over $100. I mean, 21 Capital is over $8 right now. And they haven't even launched their business yet. Like we don't know what they're doing. They just have a bunch of Bitcoin. So for me as an American company, this is one that was on my list because it is horrendously inexpensive. So getting 1,000 shares of this and sitting on it and having it be my bonus buy is really not too much of a risk factor for me, especially considering I'm looking at sitting on it for 5 years or longer. Now, my strategy with my reserves portfolio is my long-term holdings. These will not necessarily be sold. They will be leveraged against, as will a portion of my Bitcoin holdings. But overall, I am not looking at ever having to sell this. Now, maybe at some point we can take house money off our money off the table and run house money and use that money to buy more Bitcoin. That could be a possibility at some point. But generally speaking, considering I'm able to leverage this portfolio, I'm hoping at that point in time, like with MSTR, I'll be able to get some margin off this. Obviously, it being in the penny stock range, it is nowhere near being able to margin right now, which is why I said that like all my long-term holdings are plays that are well into the future that I'm not really worried about right now. We're just looking to get in position. And when you have the opportunity to get in at par, basically you're getting what the stock's worth with the Bitcoin because people are mispricing this. I'm going to take that. So that's kind of my breakdown on ASST. It's one of those things that you should do your research on, but if you're complaining about missing the boat or how expensive MicroStrategy is, it might be something to look at. Again, American company, Bitcoin, they're orange pilled, they're a Bitcoin treasury. They offer other products and services. And unlike MicroStrategy, they are not carrying debt, which puts them in a strategic position to where there's a lot of upside here because MicroStrategy is doing what it's doing, saddled down with debt. So, something to think about. I just wanted to do a quick breakdown on a few of these other treasury positions that I'm looking at. So that way people know, because I mean, you're going to see them on the updates. The position's going to continually grow because Bitcoin's volatile. So eventually we're catching we're catching those dips, and I go for amplified Bitcoin exposure on those dips. Like, that's just what we're doing. Granted, right now it's going to be double amplified Bitcoin exposure because we're currently working on getting more MSTR into the portfolio. Like I said, we're on the trek. We got our share of Tesla stock, so I'm trying to at least match that before switching back over to trying to grab another share of Tesla. And whenever we get that extra 10%, whenever we're sub 90K, we're going in and we're buying some more ASST and some 21 capital to get those positions bolstered up. That's what I've got for today. We're going to leave it at that. This one was a short but sweet, getting straight to the point. Next week, we're going to go ahead and do our dive into 21 Capital, because I think that's a pretty interesting play as well that people should know about. And, you know, we're going to do those breakdowns. I got a couple of other things that I'm going to break down for you. And also, bear in mind, I do take requests. I do read the comments. I do tap in with the comments. I'll be down in the comments. I reply to every single one of them. So feel free to tap in, shoot your request down in the comments. You can also message me on socials, which are all down in the description as well, below the comments, or above the comments. Yeah, the description's above the comments, I think. Like, if you click them more, I think that's how that works. But tap in with me. Let me know what you guys want to know about. And if it's something that aligns with what I'm doing over here, I'd be more than happy to speak on it. And until next week, thank you guys for tapping in. Do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to share the video, because we're dropping gems over here. And until next week, it is ya boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and I'm out. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.